Maybe nobody will show up. Hey, buddy. Hi. Hey, Foxy. There we go. You're gonna have to get out of the way.
Morning.
Can you hear me all right?
Mhm.
Okay. So did Sean tell you that there's going to be a sub today?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. How you doing?
I'm doing really good. So I'm going to sub for Sean, and I have never taught a Zoom jujitsu class. So probably need y'all's help a little bit. Help me understand how it goes, what you want, that kind of thing. Do you usually wait a few minutes to let people have time to come in, or do you get started pretty much on time?
I think it depends on the instructor. Molly tends to start on time,
Okay.
tends to wait a few minutes. Up to you.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started. What belt level are y'all? Hi.
We're both purple.
Okay, cool. Are you training with pods right now, or are you like strict off the mat style?
Online and in a pod. Sarah
Okay.
and I are in a pod together.
Okay. What about you, Sarah?
Just mostly online.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
I've been lucky enough to do a little bit of training this year, but nothing compared to last year.
Yeah. So I've been doing this. I haven't been doing anything. I was living in Santa Cruz. I just moved to Colorado last year. Right before I moved, I got my black belt from Lana. And then came here, had a few good months of training, and then I don't know anyone here well enough to even trust them to train with them, honestly. So I'm trying not to catch the cooties. So, all right. Tell me do you want a super intense workout style? Do you want to go over technique? There's only a couple of us, so we could do, make it a very tailored session. So help me understand what you want. Yeah.
No?
Dealer's choice.
Yeah, I mean, anything. We both like jujitsu drills, but this Saturday workout is often just 2 to 4 rounds of like a 5 movement Tabata sort of thing.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes we just do a few rounds to get the cardio up with some stretching. Or if you want to make them jujitsu movements, that would be great too.
Okay. Does that work for you, Jennifer? All right. So, and where do y'all train? Like, where's your home school?
Well, my home school closed, so I'm only
before that, like in normal times, before times. Do you train in the Bay Area?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm with 4 Elements. We were both at your workshop where you got your black belt. We were there.
Wow. Oh, thank you.
And then yeah, I'm over there. One of the dozen students over there, and Jennifer was at a larger gym, but yeah, they don't seem to be running any sort of program right now.
Yeah, it's kind of spotty. All right. Well, gonna be kind of a little bit of an old lady workout because I'm old and out of shape right now, but we'll go through we'll just do a little bit of warm up, some mobility stuff, get our heart rate up. Do you have a grappling dummy over there, or like a pillow handy we can use? We'll do some neon belly side control stuff. So I just grabbed one of my couch cushions.
We both have grappling dummies.
Awesome. I'm gonna have to, at the end of class, have to get some grappling dummy advice. I had one of those big, like 800, like the huge ones that were super heavy, and I gave it away before I moved. And now, of course, I'm mad about that. All right. So let's see how this goes. Okay. So let's just start with just like stretching out just a little bit to warm up. So go into like combat base. Stretch one foot out straight in front of you with your toes up. So if you have your left foot out, take your right arm. So you're gonna take opposite arm, bring it over and grab the blade of your foot. So you feel that in your hamstring, lower back. Guys, you gotta move. Go. And then we'll just switch legs. Beat it. Oh, you can't play right there. Okay, just bring that forward so you're stretching your hip flexor. You can grab your foot, give it a little extra stretch. That's a good girl. Just switch that to the other foot. All right, so do some roll-ups, which are kind of that same hip flexor where you're gonna here, do the roll back, tap your toe, come up, and then when you come up, lead with your hip. Push it up forward. And then you're gonna roll back again. Same thing. Really lead with your hip. Yeah, like a giant hip thrust on the way up. Yeah. And then on your tap back, start switching that tap back side to side over a different shoulder and then roll it up. Switching legs on the come up. You guys got to move over, dude. Right there, Foxy. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. Yes, that's a good girl. All right, cool. So let's keep stretching out our hips. Do 5 scorpions on each side. So keep your forearms on the floor, squared up in front of you, back up. And you reach over, tap your toe, and bring it back. Go as far as you can with keeping your forearms on the floor. That helps you maintain the structure. That'll give you a good hip stretch and stretch your lower back. I'm going to put you outside. No, you have to back up. This is not for you. Then stay down there on the ground after you get your 5th one done. You're going to drop a little bit lower. Keep your hips square on the mat and then bring same side knee to same side elbow. And just kind of slide it back and forth. Do 5 on each side. Please, I'm going to put you outside. Yeah. Back up. This is not for you. All right, cool. Let's do it's a little combo move. So we can do a Let's do a back hip escape. Move over. A back hip escape. Then the leg that is straight, you're going to bring it all the way behind you to 180. Stay on your toe on the back. Swing your other leg around. Come up to your knees. And then come up to a combat base. So let's see if I can, let me do it here. So get your back hip escape. Important thing, bring your back leg all the way around. So you're kind of pivoting off your shoulder when you do that leg swing. And you really want to stick your big toe. That'll help you get that 180 with your body. Yep. So when you start the movement, like you're facing one direction, do your little hip escape. When you swing around, you should be facing the exact same way. So the whole time you're looking at your opponent during this movement. Back, swing it up, here, ready. Yeah. Yep. And then every time you come up to a combat base position, thrust your hips forward. That'll give you a lot more power in your next move. Do 2 more on each side. You have got to back up. Back up. Back up, right there. Good girl. All right. Let's do a couple of little arm things. So let's either do dip push-ups or just regular push-ups, whichever feel the best for you. The dips are like the swan dives. You're coming down, dip your chest, come back up to a down dog. Dip and up. Let's count 10 of those. When I do these, I think about keeping an arch in my back on the dive part. Yep, and so Sarah, on this one, see how it feels to kind of dip down and then push back up. Use your hands to push yourself back up. Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's do a couple of little triceps. So if you have a chair or something to lean on, you could do it that way. You can even do it on the floor from like a crab. So you'd be right here and put my fingertips pointing towards my feet and just dip. And that'll use our body weight. Let's count 20 of those. Go out. Okay, a lot better. Go ahead and like shake your arms out, hug your back. Try to connect your hands behind your back. You can take your arms straight out with thumbs up. Just bring them back behind you. And do the same thing with the thumbs down. And then do any other stretch that feels good that you need. I say everybody knows their own body, what they need. All right, let's do a little bit of core. Let's do these on a timer. So we'll do 1 minute, sitting, feet up, toe touches side to side. Timer. Here we go. Let's try 2 minutes. All right. So you just sit, feet up. You're just gonna touch, touch, touch. You can go fast. You can go slow. You can bring your feet higher. And then for the last minute, let's turn those into cherry pickers. You can put your heels down or you can lift them up to make it a little harder. And we'll just go side to side. Twenty seconds. All right. I'm gonna grab some water real quick. All right. Let's see. Okay, if you have room, we're gonna do a sit out to a roll. If you don't have room, we'll just keep doing the sit out. So the way the roll looks is you do your regular sit out, chest all the way to the sky, elbow back real hard. So you're looking up, your belly should be to the ceiling. And then as you come back, that arm that came behind you, can begin your roll, come back up to a big hip thrust. If you don't have room, you could disconnect those and just do the small shoulder roll to a hip thrust, or just do the sit outs. And we'll do 2 minutes of those. And make sure you come up with a huge thrust on your hips. You're gonna try and drive all your weight through your hips. Here. Up. Here. Up. Huge. Here. Roll. Thrust. Roll. Thrust. All right, cool. So let's work some sprawls. Yellow purple belt, so we can just go straight to some combo movements. So we'll do some things and then link them all together. So the first one's going to be a sprawl to a tech stand. Then we're going to bring that to a blast double. Then we'll do a back fall, tech stand, sprawl, blast double. So first one, we'll just practice the sprawl, tech stand to your base, ready to fight. Do 10 on each hip. And then come back into whatever wrestling stance you use. Okay, cool. And the next one is one of my favorites because people don't seem to expect you to try to take them down. So we'll do a sprawl, come back up, whichever knee is front, that's the one that's going to drop between their legs. Pretend you're grabbing behind their knees in the ditch, pulling them to you. Step outside and blast. So we're going to sprawl up. My knee that's forward drops. Grab out the ditch of their knees. Bring either foot outside. Blast off the angle. So when I blast on the shot, I'm going to hit it at a 45-degree angle. So do 10 of those. And on this one, just lead with the knee that comes up naturally, because that's what you're going to do in a match. Cool. Okay. Next one, we'll do a back fall, tuck stand, sprawl, up, shoot. So back, tuck stand. Whoops, I messed that up. Let me do it again. Back fall, tuck stand, sprawl, up, shoot. So back fall, tuck stand, sprawl, back up, shoot. Do 10 of those. Cool. And Sarah, one thing I noticed on your sprawl, you're doing a square sprawl, which totally works. You might also think about a sprawl where you hit one hip and then come up. When I use that one, when I want to throw a cross face in it with that same side and then try to grab their lapel if I'm in gi, come around to the back or work that into a single, you know, or the single that goes to the double. So it's a little bit harder to do that cross face when you're squared right up with them. But if you're on your hip, you kind of come up naturally to the side a little bit. You can hit them with that really hard wrestler cross face, turn their head, grab some gi, and then start working to the side or drop down and do your single to a double from the side. So just something to think about, like whenever you're drilling these. That cross face helped me a lot. I'm usually smaller than anybody I'm trying to take down. So somebody told me once, when you're little, you have to have dick moves. So I try to like work those in. Okay. Let's do some little Kimura drills and then some side control drills. So you can use a chair if you have a chair, or if you want to put your feet up somewhere. This just isolates your stomach on it. So you can do your, just having your legs up on the chair. Let's do the sit up to the Kimura on one side, sit up to the Kimura on the other side. Kind of makes it so that you can't use your legs when you're coming up. If you have a grappling dummy, yeah, grab your dummy. I should go grab one of my dogs. Yep. And then with your dummy, you can even work the hip pop where you're coming up higher. So go ahead and do just like do 5 entries on each side, and then we'll start advancing those to the sweep. 3, 5, 6. Yep. Okay, y'all have convinced me I need to order a grappling dummy.
We've both just stuffed geese with other clothes and towels
okay,
and roped it together more or less. Pool noodles. I mean, we just made ours.
that, one of my old teammates at Claudio's school down in Santa Cruz did a whole bunch of videos for a grappling dummy where he I'll find them and put them on the 4 Elements page. He put them all together, and I like the pool noodles in there too, because that gives you some arm. Okay, Sarah, so when you're coming up for that, so you got your legs closed, you got them in closed guard, that's good. You secure that arm, you reach over and get it. So then that's the time you can go ahead and open up your guard and lead with your hip there, and we'll work this into the sweep. So when you're going for the sweep, you want them to feel your hip into their belly. So you're gonna pop it, like do a bridge when you're up high, do a real hard bridge. Yeah, and then that's gonna really give you some momentum to bring them around. Yeah. And then go ahead and bring that into like a top mount situation. That'll help you throw your hip harder if you can follow through. Yeah. And then go ahead, and then when you get to top, go ahead and secure your top mount. And that just makes you get in the habit of every time you do it this week, you're gonna mount. Yeah, real hard with the hip. Do 2 more on the side that you're on, and then switch and do 10 on the other side. Yeah, Jennifer, throw your hip into it. You can generate a lot of power through your hips. You want to give them whiplash on the way around. Yeah. Yep, and just take your time and really get that hip movement in. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. So your speed will come. Yeah. Yeah, I like the way you're covering up that shoulder. I think about putting their shoulder in my armpit. I don't always hit it, but if I aim for that, I know I've got their shoulder covered up really well. Yep. Nice. That was a good top mount, Sarah. Cool. So I think a good rule that's worked for me is always have my chest in front of my hips on movements like this. When I'm pressing forward or when I'm trying to sweep, if I have my hips in front of my chest, meaning they feel my hips before they feel my chest, I can throw a lot more power into it. There's so much power that comes from your hips and your glutes. When you're in a lot of different positions. Having my hips in front of my chest totally fixed my knee cut pass. So when I think about knee cuts, even so, anytime I'm like pressing forward on the person, I'm always trying to lead low. All right, that looks good. Sean said, don't give you any breaks in between. So we're gonna do some working out here. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna do 10 jump squats, or let's do 20s. Let's do we'll do you feel Sean's evilness even when she's not here. So we'll do, let's see, so jump squats. We'll do these in 2 cycles. So we'll do 10 of those, drop down, 10 mountain climbers. And then you pick 10 burpee sprawls or 10 bicycle crunches. Which one would you rather do?
What's a burpee sprawl?
Let me see. So burpee would be out, and then you're just going to work it into a sprawl. So we did sprawls already. So if you want to change that up, we can. But let's do the squat jacks. Those are good. So we'll do 20 squat jacks, 20 burpee sprawls, 20 bicycle crunches. How about that? Okay, so ready, go. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then the burpee scrolls. And on these, Sarah, practice hitting your hip. That'll give you practice. Yeah. That'll give you practice with both kinds of sprawls today. looks good. When you sprawl, see if you can look up to face your opponent. Once you're done with those 20 bicycle crunches, that doesn't feel like very much. Let's do 20 more. Then when you finish, stretch out your abs a little bit. Okay, then grab a little water if you like. Okay, so this will feel like kind of a little bit of a cool down. It's a side control flow. Let's see, let's do some knee on belly first, and then we'll do the flow, and then that'll be the cool down. So knee on belly, y'all have probably been doing knee on belly for a long time. So making sure your foot's out so they can't grab your leg. Here, you know, we're doing the pull up. Different styles here. Some people grab the pants and the lapel and try to fold the person around their knee, and really, again, throwing your hips forward and pulling up. You can grab their sleeve. Sometimes I can't get to their arm though, so I use their lapel. If you can get to their sleeve, you can grab knee that's outside, or the knee pants outside where your knee is, and then the side where your foot is. Grab the sleeve and pull that up. And that puts a ton of pressure on their belly. Play with your hip movement for a second and see if you feel a difference in the way your knee is jamming into your grappling dummy with where your hips are. If you let your hips fold a little bit, does the pressure feel different than if you have your hips thrusted forward? So it should feel like you're pressing down harder when your hips are thrusted in. Does that feel, you feeling that difference there? So again, cool. So we'll just do a drill where we're practicing switching knees. A lot of times I can't stay here very long because they're moving around and freaking out so much. So we want to use a windshield wiper movement. And So we'll pretend that we've got our hands on their shoulders. You're gonna take a split second where both knees are on their belly, and then you windshield wiper over, step out, grab it and pull up. Drop back down. Both knees are on them for a split second, and that way they always have pressure. You've always got control. Yep. So do this really slow and make sure that you've got that double pressure in the middle of your transition. I feel like a lot of matches are won or lost in the transitions. Like that's where you'll lose them. So being able to maintain pressure on them, it's good mentally because it makes them feel defeated, like they just can't escape you, and you're also completely controlling them. Here, good. Yep. Nice. Yep. Okay, sometimes they're really squirrely and we have to just keep moving around them. So we might get one in, and then for some reason they start rolling or moving. We can come around their head, do our double knee thing again, and then step back out this way. So if they like start turning into us really hard and we feel like we're gonna lose it, we can recover it and come back around the other way. Yes, same thing with the double knee pressure. You don't ever want any moment in time where no pressure is on them. Here. Look for their hips when you're coming around their head. Look for their hips to hold them down. That'll keep them flat so they can't bridge. You can put all your weight or like distribute your weight and bring it back. So depending on what they're giving you, if they're trying to give you a lot of hip, you can really sink your weight into your hands on their hip. If it's their upper body moving a lot, then you have more weight on your hands, on your knees. Nice. And now let's put those two together for a few reps. So just kind of flow with it. So give yourself, a couple side to sides, and bring it around a couple times. Couple of side to sides. And just kind of get fluid with it. Cool. And then another thing with your knee on belly, instead of coming up high, sometimes you want to stay low. I tend to stay low, and then I start setting up chokes. So when I'm on my knee on belly here, I can start like cupping their head, getting here. I can start to set up an Ezekiel or some kind of gi choke. But just thinking about, you don't always have to be high. If you feel more comfortable being low, You can put a lot of pressure being low. I can bring both knees on and go to a mount and start setting up chokes. So on your own, flow through a couple knee on belly transitions and look for a submission. What feels natural to you? Does it feel more natural to be high or low? And we understand that a lot of this depends on what they're doing and giving us. Awesome. Okay, so we got about 6 minutes left. I'll show you one of my favorite side control flows that moves you through a lot of different control positions. I'll do it once facing this way and once going that way, and then I'll talk y'all through it because it can be a little tricky at first. Okay, so first I'm just thinking about I'm in my regular side control. So blocking the hip, blocking up here by the head, and then pulling my knees to my elbows to my knees. So I'm really crunching them up. So I'm here. And then I'm going to transition to cupping under the shoulder, grabbing the tricep here, switching my legs through, and doing a side control where I'm facing them. I'm going to bring that back to the regular side control, cross body. And then I'm going to take my elbow that is next to their head, really jam it into their armpit. I'm going to take my hand that's near their legs and control that pant leg, control their hip as I swing my bottom leg through this way. Now I'm looking at their feet and I'm going to do a hip escape to crunch them up even more. So when I'm in this position, my goal is for them to look like this on the bottom. I want their arms completely out of the equation. And here, I'm controlling their legs. I can hold their pant leg. I can push their, whichever knee. They can't hip escape if they can't get their foot on the ground. So you could even pull one leg up right here, and that kills their hip escape out of whatever they're trying to do. They'd have to do a one-legged bridge to escape. So now I'm here. I push up high, like my booty is near their head. I want to get really high on this. Really good control. I come back to cross body. And then I'm going to go to the other side. But let's do that one together where we're just flowing on this side first. So we're at cross body, elbows to knees, really jamming them up. Take your outside arm, slip it under their armpit, cup the shoulder, grab the tricep on the other side, switch your legs, and come through to what is this judo pin called? Keisakatami. So you're pulling them into a judo pin, Keisakatami. This is a hard one to get out of. You can apply a lot of pressure. If they're freaking out and moving around, take your foot that's on the ground, lift up and jam into them. You can put a ton of pressure onto their chest just by lifting your hips off the ground, because now all of your pressure is going into them. So whatever's touching the mat is taking pressure. So right now, my hips not working against them, it's working against the floor, but I can use that like a gas pedal. Okay, from there, you're gonna go back to cross body. So take your bottom straight leg, switch it through, come back up. Your elbow that's close to their head is just gonna jam into their armpit and then scrape it up so that their shoulder goes high. Switch your legs again. Push your booty up really hard, really far past their head. Yeah. And then bring that to cross body again. And then we'll do a transition over them. So here, okay. We'll do the transition over them from that last position that we were in. So when we're facing their feet, now's a good time to mount. Perfect time to mount. You just bring your back leg over, come on top to a top mount. Top mount's worth a lot of points, but I don't hang out here at all. If I can't choke them quick or, you know, do a quick submission here, I go back to side. So I have a lot more luck fishing from over there. So to do that, I take the elbow that's on the side that I was not on, and we'll just do this so it works both sides. Bring that over, across their head. Now, you're gonna take your top foot and, so let's see, how do I show this better? So we're here, I'm crossed over. I'm gonna straighten this one out, staying tight to them, and then bring this back. And now you notice we're in that same position where we're looking at their feet and their arms are over their heads. And then it's just this, it's the same flow that we did before. So from here, bring it back to crossbody. Reach under, cup the shoulder. Kesa-katami. You can, when you're in Kesa, you can practice lifting your hip up a little bit if you like to use a lot of pressure. Switch that back through. Okay, now elbow that's next to their head. It's gonna drop and we're gonna transfer back over their body again. So we're gonna push back, look at their feet, and then come up to mount. When you're in mount, yep, go across, elbow in the cross armpit, bottom leg straight and close to them. And then top leg, I hit hard on the mat. Could push it back up, come back to cross body. And now you've got positions to flow through when they start getting squirrely on the bottom and you start to lose them in one side control, you'll see something else. I love the one where I'm looking at their feet because they can't see anything I'm doing with my hands. They can't see anything but your back. And that's I don't know how many times y'all have been there, but I used to train with a guy that loved that one and that sucked because I knew something bad was coming, but I couldn't see it and I couldn't stop it. So that's a really good one. That Kesa-katami is a great pin to buy you a couple minutes to even, like if you need to catch your breath for a couple seconds or you're just trying to settle them down, it'll take some of the fight out of them to just be ground out. So, you know, I'm not super young and not, you know, like beast mode. So I try to just grind people out with pressure. You don't have to work as hard when you learn how to use your pressure, I think. So there's times when you got to go and hit it and scramble, but using your pressure and distributing your weight is going to help you have economy of movement. So you save your energy for when you need those explosions, like your blast doubles and stuff like that. One thing when you're on top, when you're on the top mount, think about expressing your hips forward. So again, using that hip in your mount. So you'll feel kind of a difference if your back is more rounded than if you're forward in your mount. And that's going to give you more pressure hip to hip there too. And you can do more work on chokes up at the top because it's taking their bridge away. They're not able to bridge so much there. So, oh, we're a little bit over time. You want to go through those a couple times if you like. Tell me if you're getting stuck anywhere. This has been one of my flow drills since blue belt. It's just moving around people, controlling them in different positions and having a place to go when things are going wrong is really helpful. Yep, your back steps looks really good. And when you get to Keisakatami, that's the pin, the judo pin where you're looking at their head. See if you see where there's a kimura on that arm that you're holding. You can push their wrist down in front of you, wrap it with your legs. Yep, and then you have a nice kimura right there. You hip into it, and that's a good one. Especially if like you lose their arm and they're flailing around a bit, they might not be expecting you to try to submit them from that pin. Cool. And again, when you're right there, Sarah, looking at their feet, you can push their leg straight out. You can also bring their knee to you and like lift their leg up. They can't hip escape. So you're killing their escapes when they're 1 foot off the ground. So a lot of times I've been trying to get one leg up, but again, it just depends on what they're giving you and what they're doing and what you feel like you need to do at the moment. So you'll see if you've got a crazy bridger or somebody who's just kind of given up there. If they're just kind of giving up, you can shove it straight out because that gives you tons of room to move over. So kind of just riffing off what they give you. Yeah, so Jennifer's lifting under the leg. That's awesome too. So she's not grabbing the pant, she's lifting under the leg to like cup it and bring it up. That's a good way to control it too. So there's your no-gi grip. Perfect. Yeah, and then that saves your hands too, even in the gi. I try not to grip any cloth unless I have to. It'll save your knuckles over time and it saves your hands in your match. You don't have as much burnout. Awesome. Well, I think we can be done. This looks really good. It looks like you guys got the drill and looks like you're flowing really nicely. Awesome. Well, I hope this gave you something to think about, something to play with. Probably wasn't super intense like usual, but yeah.
No, I built up a sweat there.
Okay.
And yeah, thanks. That was good. We haven't done knee on belly in a while in the other classes. We started and we're doing it a lot at first, but we haven't come back to it lately.
Knee on in every match I'm in, I try to do knee on belly because it's an easy 2 points in a transition. It's a super easy way to pick up points. And that's where like, if you don't feel you can hold them high, you're still going to get your points as long as one knee's on the belly and one knee's on the ground. So I would just try to pick up some points along the way and then get a finish if I could, but try to rack up points early that way. So thinking about, you know, those positions, like I don't like to hang out in top mount, but I'll get there for a second long enough to get points and then just hop right off and then go to my side control submissions. So, well, cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is the first jiu-jitsu I've done since like March.
Oh, yay.
It made my heart so happy today. Thank you so much for giving me your time and for coming out. And hopefully I get to see you again. I should start coming to classes. I'm going to start coming. I need to do something.
Okay, cool. We do usually have a couple more people here, but you know, schedules. I know some people have some things scheduled today, but yeah, there's usually more like 4 of us or so.
Okay, cool. Well, I may fill in again for Sean. And oh, so your grappling dummy, they're totally homemade. Didn't buy anything except the stuff to make them. Okay. So I'm gonna put a note here. I'll find that guy's videos and see if they're helpful.
Yeah,
So I see people buying them, but
I think some other folks, if you post it onto the Four Elements Facebook page, some other folks might find it helpful.
cool.
I
Cool.
think I think Sean posted a video maybe really early on.
Yeah, I wonder if one of those videos was posted like 6 months ago or something, but you know, we could revisit it.
Yeah, I think I think I might have even put one up when Cha started doing the grappling dummy class. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I hope you have a great day.
Great, thanks, Denise.
Bye.
Bye.